Well, Rick, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate your time as always. Now, congratulations, mate. You've just added a whole bunch of awards to your arsenal of awards. Tell us all about that.
Yeah, look, it's been very good, very grateful for real estate. It's a wonderful, wonderful industry, and I really do love what I do. And it's been so good to find something. I talk to a lot of people who are not happy in their jobs, but I couldn't be happier. I've been very lucky to find what my passion is and be able to follow it and have such a good environment to work in, both at Headland First National, the two girls, Alana and Brooke, and that I feel we're very blessed, and it's been a wonderful trip.
Well, you're a great bloke, mate, so you deserve everything you get. But tell us about the rises and falls in Headland, because I think around the country they've experienced rises and falls. But I know when we first started working together, you'd really experienced some significant drops. Tell us a little bit about those rises and falls.
Yeah, look, it was, and it was huge back in around the 2010, 2012. 2010, we were really booming along, and we had a lot of construction work up here. The iron ore price extremely high, up around $180 per tonne. So there's plenty happening in Headland. There was so much happening that in our environment, we weren't renting properties out per house. It was virtually per room, $300 per room in some instances. So was our market out of whack? It certainly was. We didn't have enough houses out there for everyone, people living in caravans, in backyards. There was lots and lots happening. But then we had a big change. Late 2012, construction work backed off. Also, the iron ore price began to plummet. Went from 180 right down to $30 a tonne, a massive plummet. So out of that, we had a lot of people leave town. All the mining companies, they cut back. A lot of people lost their jobs, a lot of hurt, a lot of blood on the street. So from 2012 right through till about 2018, we saw this massive pullback where everybody retracted. And unfortunately, we had a lot of businesses. We had a lot of residential property owners that went bust, lost everything. And it was a horrible period to go through as an agent, as a town, as a community. We had between 70 and 80% pullback in our rentals and also in our house prices. It was massive and it was hard to survive.
That's heartbreaking. How did you deal with that, Rick? How did you deal with that? Because I mean, we're not talking 2 months. I mean, that's six years of pain and suffering, and you would have seen it firsthand. I know. Remember you saying that you went through it personally because you had properties as well that had lost 70% value. How did you get through that?
Very hard times, very hard times indeed, Ryan. I guess I had a double whammy. I had a quite a significant property portfolio that was in Headland. I was lucky to have enough spread around elsewhere. But when we had that pullback, obviously my cash flow went down a lot. Equity in the properties went down a lot. But I guess the double whammy was with real estate. It was very much doom and gloom in the town for everybody, businesses, the whole lot. There wasn't a lot of money being spent. Everybody was tightening their belt. So what we saw out of that, I was finding it hard to cope with all that. Froze to a certain extent at some stages there on how do you sell in a market that's gone wrong. I mean, massively wrong. So I had my portfolio that was sliding down the tube. I had real estate. I didn't think I could sell property anymore because I had never been through a really harsh market. I'd only seen the good times. When I saw the harsh times, I didn't know how to react. I froze. And there was a certain time there where I wasn't quite sure of what the next steps were. Obviously now I've recovered fairly well, and there's reasons why I sort of managed to come out. And in my opinion, you won't always dig yourself out. You need help from others.
And yeah, I know, and you've spoken Homegrown Heroes, and it was a terrific talk, and how you did that, and how you were able to to get through that difficult time, and how it, put your physical and mental health at risk. So well done, mate. That's a huge turnaround. And so how's it now in Headland? Tell us what's going on there now.
Okay, in Headland, since 2018, we've stabilised. We haven't seen a lot of price increases as far as the sales go, but we have stabilised. No more slide. We found solid ground for the last 15 to 18 months, I guess. We've had some good growth in our rentals, and it's only in the last 2 months we've seen a strong bounce off the bottom. As everybody wipes some sweat from their brow, eventually we have bounced back. So it's been really heartening. There's been a lot of activity in the town, both commercially, industrially. Nothing massive, but a lot of small things happening around the place that has made us, all the houses are full up again. We haven't got too many rentals available. It's that supply and demand ratio that has now leveled out well and truly, and probably gone the other way. We need more supply now, because there's plenty of demand out there.
So vacancy rates are at a zero, just about, very low. Stock levels are at a 10-year or at least an 8-year low. So what is driving that, Rick? Just for the viewers, what is driving that? Look, we know there's been over 400,000 people returned to Australia, but you're a mining town, iron ore in particular. What's happening in that sort of quadrant?
Well, the iron ore has remained very strong. COVID-19 has been a positive rather than a negative, because the miners are saying they prefer to have a localised workforce. So the fly-in, fly-out has minimised and will only go between Perth and Port Hedland. So that has been a positive. Definitely, there's no doubt about that. Some people are making Port Hedland their home, where previously they had flown in from over east. And certainly it's been quite a bigger percentage in our rentals, where people have to stay here to keep their job. When the borders open back up again, there may be a certain amount or percentage of fly-in, fly-out come back into play. But I think apart from that, the town is in a reasonably good position to absorb that. All the businesses picked up. Everyone that I talk to, our local business people, are putting on 1, 2, 3, half a dozen or a dozen workers. So small business, big business, very healthy. There hasn't been any one big project, Ryan, that's sort of come out there and, wow, we're booming. It's been a good, steady, consistent growth pattern for a couple of years to get us to where we are now. But I do believe in the pipeline there will be some other, very good projects coming up for Headland.
And I think what, reading between the lines, and we've spoken about this before, and what you've just said, that the town is becoming more self-sustainable, isn't it? A lot more locals are buying properties as opposed to interstaters or companies, which is going to, I suppose, definitely prevent that from happening in the future, or happening in such an extreme. Would I be right in saying that?
Yeah, look, I think so. And that's where the town wants to be, definitely. Yeah. We want to be sustainable. We want to get rid of the boom and the bust.
Yeah.
We want to go back to where, properties replacement costs. Replacement costs up here are higher than anywhere else because of our location. We're 1,700 kilometres, 1,700 kilometres from Perth, but definitely being sustainable. And because we do have such a bright future up here, because there's a massive amount of gold not far from Headland. There's talk about a wind farm that's only 2 hours up the road that's massive as well, that's coming on, and the government is trying to push that through because it'll create so many jobs. But there's lots and lots out there with what we've got on the ground up here. Look, it's a very bright future, but it has to be done, as you said, it has to be done properly, get rid of the boom and bust. So yes, there'll be more land becoming available, there'll be more houses built, but we will have strong demand for it going forward.
Beautiful. Well, that's great news, mate. And we wish you all the best for that, because it's turbulent times, not only for Headland, but even for Perth these days. We're experiencing a a bit of a spike at the moment, but we don't know how long that's going to go on for, and we're bracing ourselves for 2021 and 2022. We're hoping it'll go well, but we just don't know with the world economy. So that's awesome, mate. So let's just go back. How long have you been in real estate, and tell us your early journey in real estate, and where you, because you were in mining before, so you're the perfect guy to be working in the Headland and South Headland market, because you've been one of them.
Yeah, look, myself and my wife, we headed up from Albany. We were going to go around Australia, but the football team said stay 12 months, play a season of football, and then keep travelling. And hence, 40 years later, I'm still here, and still love the place too. Look,
Still playing footy?
Oh, geez, I wish I could, mate. Come on, I'm 61 now.
I was going to say, you looked like you could, but the years would have taken its toll. So but you're still part of the footy club, right?
Yeah, big part. Life member of the North Pilbara Football Association, also Rovers Footy Club, and my son has come up through the ranks as well. So
beautiful.
Still a big part of our lives up here. My wife still just about runs the footy club. But yeah, look, I spent 28 years at BHP too. I worked in the mining industry, so I know still have a lot of friends there and keep in contact with them, and have some very good contacts around town and associates and that. But BHP was very good. It was a learning experience while I was there. I was putting together a portfolio. I did some property developments. I did some renovations, did some properties up, and that all worked out well. And I had a cleaning business, and the cleaning business, I used to clean Headland First National. So I had a few things on the go. And Morag Lowe, who's the principal here, said, you spend that much time in here, you're buying property, you're cleaning the place, you may as well work here. And
as Morag does.
Pretty straight and to the point.
Yes,
and I came back 2 weeks later and got a bit more information and said, yeah, let's do this. So I left BHP, and BHP was fantastic. Started here and sold a property in my first week in real estate, and it was just as if it was made to be, and that happened. So very grateful of the journey over the last 12 years, Ryan. It's been great.
And you did pretty well early on, and you did quite good numbers, and you hired Alana, who's lovely, as your administration PA. And how did that change your business?
Yeah, look, I've got Alana sitting right next to me here at the moment, Ryan, so I better be very careful what I say. Now, Alana's been fantastic, and how that came about was really interesting too, because Alana was our receptionist. She was only very young at that stage, I think about 18. And myself and Morag, we went out there and we got lots and lots of applicants and lots of very well qualified people, maybe overqualified, some of them. Went through everyone, and I looked at Morag and I said, geez, I reckon Alana on the front desk is probably the pick out of everyone here. And she said, all right, we'll go and have a chat. So I did, and Alana jumped at the job, and it's been the best thing, and has proven that that was the correct decision. Definitely Alana looks after a lot of stuff where I was doing everything, listing papers, contracts, scheduling, the whole lot myself. It got to a point where that's why I got no hair left anymore. But
I know the feeling.
Yeah, we must both work very hard. But Alana now looks after all of my listing paperwork, a lot of sale contracts, organising access to properties, organising keys, scheduling myself, keeping me in line, updating the sales board, the listing boards, keeping stats, loading properties up onto the web. I can go on and on. And one thing that is quickly pops into my mind is that when I'm on the road and I get phone calls left, right and centre, or text message, and I've got to do stuff, I just quickly give Alana a call, flick a text message and Alana's just scheduled it in, and it all happens and falls into place. It is definitely away from going, selling 3 properties per month by myself, to actually doing 10 and 12 properties, which we were averaging 12 properties per month. And Alana's got has a huge say in that. So it's been fantastic.
Well done. And yeah, she's been a great asset to your business, and she's been wonderful to work with even, you know, when I've been working with you. So we worked together for 2 years, and I suppose the issue or the challenge that you were facing when we started working was, even with Alana, things were going along really well, but you were gridlocked again, and you didn't know where to turn. So we helped you bring Brooke on, and you found Brooke, and that took you to another level. Tell us about that.
Yeah, look, Brooke was working with another agency around, and it was, you know, through talks and that, and mentioning about going. I'd heard about it all, but didn't have the really confidence. But through yourself and that, going through, and that got my confidence up. Hey, other people are doing it. You put the structure together, and what they should do, gave me all the information. When Brooke did come on, she already had quite a bit of knowledge in the real estate industry and property management and that. So it was a perfect fit. Brooke is my buyer's manager. So she looks after all the buyers. She does the majority of the sales contracts, goes out and does the viewing. She organises all the home opens. When we have reports and everything like that done, then she'll deal with that, that she goes in and talks to the buyers and sorts them out as to what can be fixed up, what can't be. So a lot of stuff, once again, is taken off my plate, and Brooke is very, very good at that, knows everybody in town. So it was another way of just extending, and I probably jumped too far there. When I was doing 3 properties by myself, and Alana come on and we got to 6 and 7, and then Brooke come on and we got to 10 and 12, you can see how it sort of panned out exactly as the way that we had talked about it, and you had suggested that that is the way to go to grow the business. And it's worked and been fantastic all the way. I'm lucky. The important thing too is getting the right people in the right places, and I'm so lucky that I've got two such good girls. Yeah.
Mate, you are very lucky. They are wonderful girls, and you know, they just a pleasure to deal with, and work so damn hard, and just lovely people. So you are very blessed, and it doesn't always work like that. You've kind of got the dream slipstream there with your 2 girls, Alana and Brooke, and the sad thing is that most agents, but it's a credit to you too, Rick, because you know, the law of correspondence is you know, people treat you the way you treat them. So everything that happens in your life, everything that's happening in your business, the success that you're having is a reflection of you. So it's a hat off to you as well. But certainly the girls have been absolutely amazing, and have slotted in beautifully. But it doesn't always happen that way. So what I want to mention here is that when it doesn't, and you don't have the right people, or they don't come along, and you have to and you have to churn and burn a little bit, you have to continue with that until you find the right people. Would I be right in saying that, Rick?
Yeah, look, I think exactly right. It is all about getting the right people in the right positions, and it worked out very well for me. But the other thing, I guess, if there's any other agents out there listening that just sort of popped in my head, is for me, and you know, you sort of helped and talked us through a bit of that, is that you've got to let go. You can't keep hold of everything and think, yeah, this is the way I did it and it's the right way, because the girls have come up with much better ideas than what I have on doing all the administration, talking to buyers, organising databases, stuff like that. There's my area of expertise may be here, but the girls have also got their areas of expertise. So you do have to learn to say, hey, let go. Somebody else may be a bit better at that task than what you are.
Probably the biggest challenge for high performers, Rick, is getting them to let go and let people run the systems, handle their buyers, write up the offers, negotiate with the buyers, and do all those tasks and activities that the lead agent has been so protective of and been doing it for so long that they just struggle to let go. And ultimately, they do it better than us, don't they? Eventually.
Oh, look, they certainly do. And once you can let go and give them some ownership and create it as our business and not just my business, everybody feels a part of it. Everybody gets rewarded. Both the girls, I pay a commission on every single property. They get a bit of that too, so they feel as if it is a real, true true team. And it certainly worked well. And I guess the other important thing here is just you own my longevity in the business. I was down at the Rewa Awards not so long ago, and someone said, geez, you've been consistent over a long period of time. And I said, I wouldn't have been unless I had the two girls come in. I probably would have burnt myself out, or I probably would have lost interest or had enough. So longevity is also important. You know, you don't have to be at the top all the time, but if you're fairly consistent, then everybody's a winner.
And let's talk about, you know, that since we worked together, you've grown the EBU. How's your life changed? I know you spend a lot of time at 10 Mile Beach, I think it's called.
It's grown to 80 Mile Beach now, mate.
80 Mile Beach, that's it. Yeah. So how's life for you now?
Yeah, look, it's good. In particular, the stress and that and worrying about everything. I'd come in on a Saturday and a Sunday. I'd be in 5 o'clock in the morning. I'd stay till sometimes 9 o'clock. It didn't matter. I had to get everything done. I had to respond to everybody. I just don't like not getting back to people. But now with the girls and that, have enough time to do that. We have weekends off. We take in turns of doing home open. So Brooke gets a bit of time off. I get a bit of time off. It wasn't long after Brooke came on that I took a 3-week holiday over in America, and that was hard to sort of let go. And for the first time ever, I think your suggestion, I left my mobile with the girls here, which was really, really, really hard to do.
I'm sure.
But it's not hard to do anymore. So it does give you a bit of your life back as far as having holidays, and it's the right time to be sort of doing that now. But yes, it is a very important part of staying fresh, staying sharp, being on the ball, and continuing to love what you do.
Mate, you're awesome, and you're a credit to the industry. And you know, you've implemented all the strategies and systems to grow that EBU and be able to step back and get that longevity that you're talking about in your business. So it's a huge credit to you. And you know, Grandmaster for Rewa. With 118 sales, $28 million worth of transactions. You know, number one in First National, number one in Headland, number 2 top assisted salesperson. I mean, the awards are just absolutely rolling in. Highest number 1 settled sales, Diamond Award, Elite Performer. They just go on, mate. So you deserve everything you've got. Just before you go, mate, a couple of tips, suggestions for some agents who might be doing it tough out there, or looking to grow their business. What tips can you give them?
Yeah, look, I've done a few presentations. I just made up, because I've been asked this. I've got 7 tips here that I've just boiled it down to, that these really made a big difference to me, massive. So the first tip was be brave and ask for help, because people really do love helping. When I reached out to a few people, nobody came back and gave a negative. There was a bloke in Broome. There was a Rob Druitt with First National and that helped me enormously. So, 1, be brave. Go out and ask for help, because you can't do it by yourself. You do need someone to help you. Number 2, take action. Doing something is better than nothing. And I talked about freezing when everything was going wrong. I didn't know where to go. And some agents at different periods in their life, they will feel like that. And you freeze. So just doing something is better than nothing. Number 3, take responsibility for everything. If you're a failure, it's your fault. If you're a success, it's your fault. It's about whatever happens, take responsibility. Don't pass it on. Don't say the iron ore price plummeted. That's the reason why I can't be a success. That's not taking responsibility. Number 4 is learn to love listing property. Find multiple ways to list, then you'll sell. And that was the first thing, was get back to basics. You list a lot of properties, you're going to sell a lot of properties. That was worked enormously, getting all those multiple ways that many people have helped, including yourself, been huge in that area of helping to find systems to get more listings. So number 5, be honest, helpful, and prepared to do what others don't like doing. So at times I've been up early in the morning with a torch because there's been no power to a property, and because of the different shifts, I've shown people late at night or early in the morning through properties do things because people talk to people, and all of a sudden you get a good reputation, and people like working with when you go that extra mile. 6, build a team around you, and we've talked about that. So outsource a lot of stuff. Alana and Brooke, my family, and right arm, left arm, and right arm. I also have Kirsta, who does all of my social media stuff, who is a professional in Perth. I also have Janelle, who does professional photos. So outsource that stuff to people who are better at things than what you are. Number 7, everybody needs direction and a purpose. Work out why you want to do this. I guess it was for me, it was for my family and making sure that I could be a good provider and end up enjoying life and not having to worry about a dollar. So there's always a reason out there. Whatever that reason is for you, find it and run with it. Let it drive you.
Mate, that was absolutely beautiful. It's been a great interview, and there's so much value there, mate. And we just want to say, it's been a privilege for us to have worked with you for the time that we have, and we just love watching your success, mate. We love seeing at the Real Awards, grabbing all the awards, and having a beer with you, mate, and catching up with the girls, Alana and Brooke. And we just want to say congratulations. We love your work, and we thank you for your time here today.
Thank you, Ryan. It's been a great journey, and a big thank you to you and Anita, she's super organised, mate. She's the success behind you, isn't she?
She certainly is, mate, without any shadow of a doubt. They say that behind every half decent bloke is a very successful woman, and I'm very blessed. So thank you for mentioning her. She is a delight. We're very lucky.
No, thanks very much, Ryan. It's been an absolute pleasure. It's good that we continue to stay in contact, and I'm always looking and listening and following what you're doing. So you've helped me come so far. So a big thank you to you and Anita and the business.
Thank you, Rick. Much appreciated, and it's been great to work with you.
Thanks, mate.
Take
Bye.
it easy. Cheers. Have a great weekend.
See you, mate.
Cheers.